The rain hammered the roof of our old Victorian house in Elmwood, Ohio, like it was trying to drown out the screams echoing inside. I clutched Alex's hand so tight my knuckles turned white, her fingers the only anchor in the storm of my mother's fury. "You're disgusting, Caroline. This ends now, before anyone finds out and ruins us all." My heart shattered like the lightning cracking outside, but in that raw, electric moment, something unbreakable ignited inside me. I was 22, finally brave enough to love who I loved, and no amount of thunder from the women who raised me would force me back into the shadows. We'd been hiding for months, Alex and I, stealing kisses in the back aisles of the local bookstore or under the covers of my childhood bed when the house slept. But secrets like ours have a way of clawing their way out, especially in a town where everyone knows your business before you do. My mother, Evelyn, with her iron-gray bun and Bible verses etched into her every glare, had walked in on us that afternoon. Alex's lips on mine, soft and urgent, in the kitchen where I'd baked cookies for her just hours before. The tray clattered to the floor, chocolate chips scattering like confetti from a party no one wanted to attend. And then Aunt Lydia arrived, summoned by Evelyn's frantic call, her sensible heels clicking like Judgment Day on the linoleum. Lydia, my father's sister, the one who'd moved in after Dad's heart attack 5 years ago, carrying her widow's grief like a shield. She was the softer enforcer, with her cardigans and cooing reassurances, but her eyes held the same steel. Family first, appearances forever. "Caroline, honey," she'd said, voice laced with false honey. "This is a phase. A mistake. We can fix it quietly. Therapy, prayer, whatever it takes. But you can't throw your life away like this." I pulled Alex closer, her breath warm against my neck, smelling of vanilla and rain. We were soaked from running through the downpour to get here, to face the tribunal in my own home. "It's not a phase," I whispered, my voice steady despite the tears burning my eyes. "Alex is my life. And I'm done pretending she's not." Evelyn's face twisted, red as the roses she'd pruned obsessively in the yard that morning. "Your life? This perversion will destroy you. What about church? The neighbors? Your future?" She paced, wringing her hands, the silver cross necklace swinging like a pendulum counting down my doom. Lydia stepped forward, placing a hand on Evelyn's shoulder, but her gaze locked on me. "Think of your father, Caroline. He'd roll in his grave. We're protecting you from yourself." The words hit like fists. Dad, with his quiet laugh and endless patience, gone too soon. He'd been the one to teach me to ride a bike on these cracked sidewalks, to dream big beyond Elmwood's borders. Would he have hated me for this? The doubt gnawed, but Alex's thumb traced circles on my palm, a silent reminder. Love doesn't lie. That night, after they banished Alex into the storm with slurs I couldn't bear to repeat, I lay in my room, staring at the glow-in-the-dark stars Dad had stuck on the ceiling when I was 10. They flickered faintly in the dark, mocking my unraveling world. Sleep evaded me, chased away by replays of Evelyn's sobs downstairs, mingled with Lydia's murmured prayers. By dawn, resolve hardened in my chest like frost on the windowpane. I couldn't stay. Not like this. Packing was a blur. Jeans, hoodies, the worn journal where I'd scribbled poems about Alex's smile since the day we met. Slipping out before the house stirred, I left a note on the kitchen table. I love her. And I love you both. But I won't hide anymore. Forgive me when you're ready. The door clicked shut behind me, a sound both final and freeing, as I stepped into the gray October light. Alex waited in her beat-up Chevy at the corner, engine idling like her patient heart. She didn't ask questions, just opened her arms as I slid in, pulling me into a hug that smelled of home. "Where to?" she murmured, her voice a balm. "Anywhere but here," I said, and we drove, the rain easing to a drizzle that mirrored my tentative hope. Elmwood shrank in the rearview, but the ache lingered, a bruise on my soul. We'd head to Cleveland, crash with her cousin, figure out jobs and futures. But deep down, I knew this wasn't escape. It was the beginning of a war. For my truth. For us. The highway stretched like a vein pulsing with possibility, radio humming soft indie folk that Alex loved. She sang along off-key, her hand on my thigh, and for the first few miles, it was enough to dull the edge of loss. But as the miles ticked by, memories flooded in, unbidden and sharp. I'd grown up in that house like a vine trained to climb a trellis, straight, obedient, blooming only where Evelyn and Lydia approved. Mom's strictness came from her own scars, a teenage pregnancy that bound her to Dad young, a mill-town upbringing where gossip could starve a family. Lydia, childless and sharp-tongued, filled the gaps with rules disguised as love. No dating till 16, no parties, church every Sunday. I excelled to please them, straight A's, volleyball captain, the girl who volunteered at the soup kitchen. But inside, I was a storm waiting to break. Alex crashed into my life last spring, during my final semester at community college. I was shelving books at Elmwood's lone library, the air thick with dust and forgotten stories, when she wandered in, all city edge and effortless grace. 23, fresh from art school in Columbus, visiting her grandma before deciding on grad programs. She asked for recommendations on queer poets, Walt Whitman, Audre Lorde, and our fingers brushed over leaves of grass. Sparks, literal and figurative. We talked for hours that first day, her blue eyes lighting up as she shared sketches from her notebook, fierce women with wings, loving in hidden groves. I confessed my own doodles, hidden in margins of textbooks, girls holding hands under rainbows. By closing time, she had my number, and I had a secret that made my heart race faster than any sermon. Our first real date was a picnic by the Cuyahoga River, blankets spread under willows that whispered approval. She packed falafel wraps and strawberry wine, illegal for me but sweet on her lips. As the sun dipped, painting the water gold, she kissed me, tentative, then deep, like she'd been starving too. "I've been waiting for you, Caroline," she breathed, and I believed her. In her arms, I wasn't the dutiful daughter. I was alive, seen, desired. But Elmwood's walls closed in quick. Whispers started when we were spotted at the diner, heads bent close over milkshakes. Evelyn noticed my late nights, the flush in my cheeks. "Who's this friend?" she'd probe, eyes narrowing over her coffee. I lied at first, the words bitter on my tongue. Hiding chipped away at me, turning joy to guilt. Now barreling toward Cleveland, that guilt resurfaced. "What if they're right?" I blurted, voice cracking. "What if this ruins everything?" Alex pulled over at a rest stop, the kind with vending machines humming under fluorescent buzz. She turned to me, cupping my face. "They love you, Caro. But their fear isn't your truth. You're not ruining anything, you're claiming it." Her kiss was fierce, tasting of salt from my tears, and in that dingy parking lot, with semis rumbling past, I chose her. Chose us. We arrived at her cousin Mia's apartment as dusk fell, a cozy third-floor walk-up overlooking Lake Erie. Mia, a tattooed barista with a pixie cut and zero filter, enveloped us in hugs and hot cocoa spiked with whiskey. Family drama? Screw M. You two are endgame. Her place was a riot of color, walls scrawled with murals, books piled like modern art. For the first time, I breathed without the weight of expectation. Nights blurred into a rhythm, mornings tangled in sheets, Alex's fingers tracing my spine. Afternoons job hunting, her portfolio sketches landing freelance gigs while I applied to nursing programs, dreaming of healing more than bodies. Evenings, we'd walk the lakefront, hands linked openly, the wind off the water carrying away Elmwood's echoes. Pride swelled in me, fragile but fierce. This was freedom's taste. Yet doubt crept in like fog off the lake. A voicemail from Evelyn, voice hollow. "Come home, Caroline. We miss you." This. Rebellion. It's breaking us. Guilt twisted, but anger followed. Breaking us? They'd shattered me first with their ultimatums. Then Lydia called, her tone measured. Your mother's not eating. Please, for her sake. Manipulation, dressed as concern. I hung up, chest tight, and Alex held me through the sobs. They'll come around, she soothed, but I wondered if love could bridge such chasms. Winter crept in, snow blanketing Cleveland in hush. Our love deepened in the cold, lazy Sundays baking bread that filled the air with yeast and warmth, whispered, I love yous, under starlit bridges. Alex taught me to paint, my clumsy strokes blooming into portraits of us, intertwined, unashamed. For her 24th birthday, I surprised her with tickets to a queer poetry reading downtown, the stage alive with voices like ours, raw, defiant, beautiful. But the past wasn't done haunting. One frosty morning, a letter arrived, Evelyn's looping script on the envelope. Inside, a check for $5,000 and words that cut. Take this. Start fresh. Alone. We can pretend this never happened if you come back. The money felt like chains, gilded and cold. I tore it up, pieces fluttering like confetti of rejection, and drove back to Elmwood that afternoon. Alex protested, but I needed closure or confrontation. The house loomed, Christmas lights already strung, mocking the holiday cheer with their flicker. Evelyn answered the door, eyes puffy, Lydia hovering behind like a shadow. I'm not taking it, I said, thrusting the scraps at them. And I'm not coming back without Alex. You want me? You get her too. Evelyn's lip trembled. Caroline, please. Society. God. God made me this way. I shot back, voice rising. And society? It's changing. I'm not your shame to bury. Lydia interjected, softer. We just want what's best. Love is best. The words hung, a gauntlet thrown. They didn't budge that day, doors closing on my pleas, but seeds cracked open in their silence. As I drove away, tears blurring the road, Alex's text lit my phone. Proud of you. Always. Strength surged. This fight was ours now. Spring thawed the ground, and with it, our resolve. Alex and I moved into a tiny studio near campus, walls echoing with laughter and late-night debates on Audre Lorde. I started nursing classes, hands steady as I learned veins and vitals, channeling care into a world that needed it. She landed a gallery show, her pieces, vibrant tales of hidden loves, drawing crowds that whispered recognition. Elmwood's pull weakened, but Evelyn's calls persisted, laced with cracks. Saw a rainbow flag in town. Strange times. Progress, glacial but there. Lydia sent a book once, Understanding Your Path, dog-eared pages on acceptance. Small bridges tentative. Then summer scorched in, and the storm broke anew. Alex's show opening coincided with Elmwood's annual fair, cotton candy skies, and Ferris wheel lights. We went, uninvited but bold, hands clasped through the crowds. Whispers followed, but we danced anyway, her head on my shoulder to the country band's twang. Evelyn spotted us from the pie booth, face ashen. She approached, Lydia in tow, the air thick with fried dough and tension. Caroline, she hissed. Not here. People are staring. Let them. I replied, chin lifted. Alex squeezed my hand, solid as oak. Lydia glanced around, then softened. She's happy, Evelyn. Look at her. The words pierced. Mom's eyes met mine, searching, and for a heartbeat, I saw her. Not the warden, but the woman who'd rocked me through fevers, sung lullabies off-key. I prayed, she whispered, for guidance. And my voice cracked, hope and hurt entwined. She swallowed. Maybe God's bigger than I thought. It wasn't absolution, but a door ajar. We talked that night, awkwardly over lemonade on the fairground bench, Alex included, like a guest at her own trial. Stories spilled. Evelyn's hidden regrets from youth, Lydia's unspoken loneliness. Vulnerability bridged what venom couldn't. By autumn's return, a year full circle, we gathered at the house for dinner. No fanfare, just pot roast and tentative toasts. Evelyn passed the potatoes to Alex, a small surrender. "Welcome," she murmured, and my heart swelled. Love, I learned, isn't silenced. It's shouted, in whispers and roars, until the world echoes back. We build from ruins, hand in hand, refusing the dark. And in that refusal, we find grace. The leaves turned crimson again, mirroring the flush on my cheeks as Alex and I strolled the park where it all began. 1 year since the rain-soaked reckoning, and Elmwood felt less like a cage, more like a chapter closing. Evelyn's acceptance was fragile, a sapling bending in wind, but it grew. She'd even joined a book club, queer authors at my suggestion, and Lydia attended PFLAG meetings, her cardigans now paired with rainbow pins. Our lives in Cleveland pulsed with rhythm. My nursing shifts at the free clinic honed empathy, bandaging wounds while sharing stories of hidden pains. Alex's art flourished. Her next exhibit, Unsilenced, featured a canvas of us under that stormy sky, titles scrawled in bold, Refusal. Critics raved, but her real thrill was teaching workshops for LGBTQ youth, eyes lighting as teens sketched their truths. Yet peace carried undercurrents. A patient at the clinic, a teen runaway with bruises and a stuttered coming out, triggered flashbacks. "They said I'm broken," she whispered, and I held her hand, echoing Alex's words from our rest stop night. "You're not. You're whole." But inside, old fears stirred. What if Evelyn regressed? What if the town's tolerance soured? Alex sensed it always. One evening, after a grueling shift, she drew a bath scented with lavender, candles flickering like fireflies. "Spill," she said, pulling me in, water lapping warm around us. I leaned back against her, her chin on my shoulder. Just scared it'll slip away. This normal we fought for. Her arms tightened. "It won't, because we won't let it." Her lips brushed my neck, sparking heat that chased shadows. We made love slow, deliberate, bodies mapping promises, fingers in hair, breaths mingling, the world reduced to skin and size. Afterward, wrapped in towels, we planned a road trip west, chasing sunsets, affirming our forever. The drive to the Badlands was epic, windows down, playlist blasting Hozier and Brandi Carlile. We hiked crimson trails, hands dusty and linked, laughing as rattlesnakes slithered warnings. At night, in a tent under endless stars, Alex traced constellations on my belly. "That's us," she said, pointing to Orion. "Hunters of light." Back home, momentum built. I graduated nursing school, cap tassel swinging as Alex hooped loudest. Evelyn and Lydia flew up, awkward hugs at the airport, but real. Mom pinned a corsage on my gown, whispering, "Proud, baby. So proud." Tears mixed with cheers, a milestone mended. Fall brought change. Alex's offer for a residency in Chicago, Urban Pulse calling. "Come with," she asked, eyes vulnerable. My heart leaped, then dipped. Cleveland was our foundation, but growth demanded roots shift. Yes, I breathed, sealing it with a kiss that tasted of futures. Packing stirred ghosts. Sorting Dad's old toolbox in the Elmwood attic during a visit, I found letters, his to Evelyn, tender confessions of doubt in their early marriage. "Love bends, doesn't break," one read. I showed her, over tea, and she nodded, eyes misty. "He'd have loved you, all of you." Lydia, surprisingly, opened up too. "I envied your fire, Caroline. My life. Safe, but small." Her hand on mine, a bridge long burned, rebuilt. Chicago welcomed us with skyline sparkle and corner cafes. Our loft overlooked the river, walls soon splashed with Alex's murals. I landed a job at a queer health center, advocating for the marginalized, turning pain to purpose. Nights, we jazz club hop, her sketches capturing sax solos in motion. But trials lingered. A hate call at work, slurs scrawled on my locker, echoes of Elmwood's underbelly. Alex found me curled on the couch, rage spent in tears. "Fight or flight?" she asked, fierce. "Fight," I growled, and we did, joining protests, voices amplified in chants for equality. Her art turned activist, installations at rallies drawing crowds. Strength doubled in union. Winter's chill brought news. Evelyn's diagnosis, early breast cancer. The call shattered holiday lights. We rushed back, me holding her hand through chemo drips, Alex fetching ginger tea, and bad jokes. "You girls," Mom rasped, smiling weak, my anchors. In that sterile room, forgiveness flowered full. Lydia baked pies, we shared stories, Dad's fishing tales, Alex's wild youth. Cancer stripped pretense, love, unadorned, shone. Spring bloomed with remission. A family barbecue, rain held off for once, laughter ringing. Evelyn raised a glass to refusing silence. Cheers echoed, hearts full. Our love, once a whisper, roared now. Nodding vows in a lakeside ceremony, rings simple silver. Vows spoken. I choose you, every storm. Guests, a tapestry of chosen family, witnessed. Years weave on, threads of joy and grit. Caroline and Alex, elders now in our worlds, mentoring the next to stand unhidden. For in refusing to fade, we light the way. Sunlight slanted through the loft's blinds, painting stripes on Alex's sleeping form. 3 years in Chicago, and mornings like this still felt like gifts, her hair splayed golden, my fingers itching to trace the curve of her hip. I slipped out quiet, brewing coffee strong as our resolve, the city humming awake below. Work called, a panel on queer youth mental health, my voice steady as I shared our stories' scars and stars. Silence kills dreams, I said to nodding faces, but truth sets them free. Applause warmed, but it was Alex's text midday. "Miss your fire. Dinner at that Italian spot." That ignited true. Evenings unfolded lazy, pasta twirled, wine deep red, her foot nudging mine under table. Back home, we danced to vinyl spins, Ella Fitzgerald's velvet croon, bodies swaying slow, whispers weaving plans. A cabin getaway? Adoption dreams? Life's canvas, ours to stroke bold. But roots tugged. A call from Lydia. "Evelyn's retiring. Wants you home for the summer fair." Hesitation flickered, old wounds tender, but Alex squeezed my hand. "Go. Heal more." Elmwood greeted with fireflies and familiarity. Mom's garden burst riotous, roses she'd once wielded like weapons now soft invitations. Dinners stretched long, stories looping. Dad's pranks, my toddler tantrums. Alex joined weekends, her sketches of the fairgrounds earning Evelyn's gruff, "Not bad." One dusk, walking the riverbank, Mom linked arms with me. "I was wrong, Caroline. Feared losing you to the world. Didn't see I was pushing you away." Her voice cracked, river murmuring absolution. "I never left, Mom. Just grew." Embrace tight, salt on cheeks, hers mine mingled. Lydia confessed over pie. "Watched you fight, wished my courage." Her eyes, once stern, soft with regret. "You're my hero now." Tears, then laughter, pie crust flaking as we plotted family trips. Bridges, sturdy now. Chicago pulled us back, but enriched. Alex's solo show, echoes of refusal, packed the gallery, canvases pulsing with our journey, stormy kisses, defiant hands, blooming acceptances. Mom and Lydia flew up, Evelyn's gasp at the prices melting to pride. My girls and lights. Post-opening, champagne fizzed, toasts clinking. Alex pulled me aside, alcove dim. "Marry me?" Ring box open, sapphire winking. Breath caught, yes tumbling out in a kiss that blurred the room. Wedding planning danced chaotic joy. Venue hunt along the lake. Vows penned heartfelt. Mia officiated, tattoos peeking from her suit, voice booming love's litany. Guests spanned worlds, clinic colleagues, art kin Elmwood holdouts. Evelyn walked me down the aisle, arms steady, eyes shining. Beautiful, she whispered, handing me off to Alex, whose grin rivaled the sun. Vows sealed under arch of wildflowers. In storms and sun, I choose you. Unhidden, unbreakable. Rings slid, cheers erupted, dance floor alive till dawn. Honeymoon in the Smokies, cabin nestled misty, hikes hand in hand, trails scented pine, nights firelit with stories and skin. Forever starts now, Alex murmured, stars wheeling above. Back, life layered deeper. I advanced to clinic director, programs blooming for trans care, immigrant support, hands healing broader. Alex taught full-time, studio buzzing with students sketching souls. Then, surprise, pregnancy via donor, our choice deliberate. Ultrasounds revealed a girl, heartbeat thumping fierce. Evelyn's joy overflowed, knitting booties, Lydia reading baby books aloud. Birthday dawned stormy, echoing our origin. Labor gripped, Alex's hand anchor, her whispers, you've got this, through pains. Lily arrived wailing, tiny fists clenched, eyes mine, hazel and fierce. Holding her, world narrowed to that warmth. Our refusal's legacy, Alex said, kissing brow. Family converged, Evelyn cooing, Lydia snapping photos. Elmwood visits became ritual. Picnics where Lily chased fireflies, grandparents laps her throne. Years spun. Lily's first steps toward us, laughter echoing lofts. Challenges came, work burnout, toddler tantrums, a scare with Alex's gallbladder, but love weathered, stronger. At 10, Lily asked, why'd Grandma Evelyn cry when you kiss Mommy? We sat her down, story simple, love's brave. We chose it loud. She nodded, drawing us three, hands linked, rainbows arching. Me too, she said, crayon bold. Now, in quiet moments, watching Alex tuck Lily in, I trace our arc from thunderous denial to this symphony of yes. Refusal wasn't rebellion, it was reclamation. And in that, grace for all. Lily's laughter pealed through the park, her pigtails bouncing as she chased pigeons, oblivious to the weight of legacies. 13 now, all gangly limbs and questions sharp as Alex's palates. Mom, why's the sky blue but rain gray? She'd ask, and I'd spin science with stories, weaving our truths in. Chicago's pulse quickened our days. School runs past muraled alleys, my clinic expanding to telehealth for rural queers, voices from towns like Elmwood, isolated no more. Alex's tenure track buzzed, critiques turning critiques to collaborations. But autumn winds carried whispers of change. Evelyn's letter arrived, script shakier. Arthritis worsening. Come soon. We packed, Lily chattering about Grandma's cookies, road trip a blur of golden fields. Elmwood enveloped soft, house sagging gentle, garden wilder. Mom leaned on canes, but eyes sparked at Lily's hugs. My great-grand? No, wait, you're mine. Giggles dissolved tensions. Dinners drew long. Lydia's tales of widow dances, now line lessons with Lily. One night, fire crackling, Evelyn pulled photos, faded Polaroids of me small, Dad hoisting high. He'd say you're his wildflower. Bloomed despite weeds. Tears pricked. Miss him. We all do. Her hand on mine, gnarled but warm. But you're his echo, brave heart. Lily piped, tell the kiss story, blushes all around, but we did, rain, reckoning, refusal. Her eyes wide, cool, like superheroes. Superheroes. Yes. Back in Chicago, inspiration struck. Alex sketched a series, Generations Unbound, portraits linking us, Dad's grin in my jawline, Evelyn's resilience in Lily's chin. Gallery hummed at the reveal. Mom there, Kane tapping applause. Art like life, she said. Messy, but true. Winter bit hard that year. Blizzards blanketing, clinic calls surging with despair. A client, echo of teen me, overdosed, grief hollowed. Alex found me midnight weeping, pulled close. Share the load, she urged, and I did, therapy tandem, rebuilding bricks. Spring thawed resolve. Lily's school project, family tree, branches rainbowed for our chosen kin. Not straight lines, she explained, proud. Teachers praised, parents whispered, but we stood tall. Then, curve. Alex's sabbatical offer, Paris, 6 months. Art Mecca, she breathed, eyes alight. Lily bounced. Eiffel Tower.
Me?
Heart tugged, clinic commitments, roots deep. Nights debated. Pros cons listed over wine. Go. I decided, voice steady. Lily and I joined summers. Growth for all. Packing Paris. Suitcases stuffed dreams. Airport goodbyes tear-tinged, but texts flew constant. Alex's sane selfies, my clinic quips. Lily and I held fort. Baking fails, bedtime reads of And Tango Makes Three. She confided school crushes, boy, girl, fluid. Love's pick your adventure, I said, hugging tight. Summer reunion. Paris bloomed, croissants flaky, Louvre vast. Alex waited at gates, arms open. Lily squealed into them. Weeks wandered. Picnics by canals. Lily's French lisps charming locals. Alex's studio overflowed oils. Us three, Eiffel shadowed, titled Exile's Homecoming. Evelyn visited Fortnite, Kane on cobblestones, awe in eyes. City of Lights, she marveled, sipping espresso. Lydia stayed Elmwood, but Skyped. Jealous green. Back stateside, shifts settled. Lily started high school, braces glinting questions, identity, friends, futures. We navigated gentle. Books on shelves, doors open. A scare hit. My routine skin flagged. Benign cyst, but echoes of Evelyn's fight chilled. Alex's vigil through biopsy weight, her hand mine like Labor Day. Clear results, relief party, cake piled high. Milestone, Lily's quince, fusion flare, tutus and ties, guests mingled. Dances swirled. Me and Alex slow waltzing, Evelyn and Lydia line-stepping clumsy. Vows renewed impromptu, still choosing. Aging crept graceful, grays threading Alex's gold. Laugh lines my map. Clinic directorship evolved policy, voices amplified nationally. Lily's gap year abroad, volunteering in queer youth centers, Spain sun-kissed. Letters home. Your story inspired mine. Empty nest echoed, but we filled. Travels tandem, Japan cherry blossoms, petals like promises. Home. Quiet deepened intimacy. Books shared, bodies familiar yet new. Evelyn's 90th. Elmwood bash, kin crowding. Toasts toasted. To refusals that birth families. Her wink. Best mistake, loving you loud. Legacy loops. Lily's engagement, partner non-binary, wisecracking. Wedding ours to plan, rainbow arches, story circled. In twilight talks, Alex and I reflect, from storm to sun, love's arc bends toward light. Refusal? Not end, but eternal beginning. Lily's wedding dawn broke pink over Lake Michigan, waves lapping blessings. 25, radiant in ivory laced with pride pins, she paced our loft, nerves electric. What if I mess the vows? Her partner, Jordan, waited calm, eyes soft adoration. You won't, Alex soothed, adjusting boutonnieres, tiny canvases painted. Love's improv. Ceremony beachside, arches driftwood draped, guests barefoot circle. Vows vowed. In all genders, all storms, I choose your light. Rings exchanged, cheers crashed like surf. Reception roared. Bonfire crackling, stories spun. Evelyn, 85 and feisty, danced with Jordan's dad, cane twirled. Lydia, tipsy on punch, confessed, "Never thought I'd see this joy from my Faye's niece." Laughter healed last fissures. Lily's toast, "To moms, your refusal wrote my freedom." Tears, toasts, tango till moon high. Post-honeymoon, life layered legacy. Lily and Jordan settled Portland, brewing craft beers infused stories. Refusal IPA, labels our portrait sketched. Grandkids came, twins first, Kai and River, chaos curly. Visits whirlwind, fort building, fairy tales queered. Alex's sketches captured, tiny hands in ours, titled Next Bloom. Clinic peaked, national grant, centers sprouting. Testimonies poured. Your voice saved mine. Echoes infinite. Alex retired teaching, studio sanctuary. We traveled slow. Italy vineyards, vines like veins pulsing life. Evenings, wine sipping, she'd read poems, ours, penned private. Evelyn's fade gentle, 92, bedbound but lucid. Final visit, her hand frail mine. Thank you, Caroline, for showing love wins. Breath eased out peaceful, room rainbowed by Lydia's vase. Funeral Elmwood, church packed, pastor progressive preaching grace. Eulogy mine. She bent, broke chains, bloomed late but bright. Graveside, Alex's arms steel, Lily's tears ours. Grief garden growth. Lydia moved Chicago, apartment near, weekly brunches, her stories spice. A decade danced, 60s for us, silvered but sparked. Lily's brewery boomed, twins toddling taps. Visits videoed, then in-person hugs healing miles. Health hiccup, Alex's knee, surgery slow. I nursed, roles reversed, soup simmered, stories soothed. Your turn to carry, she teased, eyes grateful. Book born, my memoir, unhidden, a love refused silent. Pages poured heart, hook of rain, arcs of acceptance. Launch packed, Alex's forward fierce. She shouted, I painted. Together, we sang. Reviews raved, royalties funded scholarships, queer youth, voices vaulted. 70 beckoned, cruise Alaska, glaciers gleaming. Deck dances, her head shoulder, whispers still mine. Always. Kisses cool, eternal. Lily's 40s, CEO now, family 4, adopted sib for twins. Her speech at our anniversary. Your storm birthed my son. Grandkids grew. Kai's coming out, trans and triumphant. Our circle widens welcome. River's art echoes Alex, brushes bold. Lydia's 90th, care home lively, tales toasted. Best decision, she winked, loving your rebellion. It came, Alex's heart murmur, monitors beeping. Hospital nights, my vigil mirror of births. Fight, I urged, hand hers. She did, valves mended, home healed. Rehab walks, lakefront slow, laughter lightning steps. 80s golden, memoirs updated, travels tamed, national parks, paths paved. Book club birthed, neighborhood queers, stories shared. Lily's 60th, surprise party, brewery bustling. Toasts timeless, refusals ripple. Our 90th's twinned, joint bash, cake colossal. Vows renewed beach, waves witness. 80 years choosing, Alex breathed. Lily's eulogy, years later, they refused silence, gifted song. Legacy lives, centers named, art endowed, family fierce. Love, once whispered, thunders eternal, unhidden, unbound. Twilight settled on our porch swing, creaking rhythm to memories. 95, bones brittle but spirit steel, Alex and I swayed, her hand papery mine. Chicago's skyline twinkled distant, a lifetime's lights. Lily visited weekly, kids in tow, now teens, Kai's sketches gallery bound, River's activism aflame. Grandma's tales fuel me, Kai said, hugging tight. Clinic legacy. Caroline Center, plaques proud. Director now Lily's mentee, echoes endless. Alex's final exhibit. Lifelines, lines linking us all, dad to Lily to great-grand. Unveil emotional, tears tracing paths. Winter whispered end, Alex's breath labored, oxygen humming. Hospice home, room sunlit. No regrets, she murmured, eyes locking mine. None. Kiss forehead, story soft, rainy kitchen, Paris picnics, wedding waves. She slipped Dawn, hand mine, peaceful. Grief vast, but graced. Funeral lakeside, ashes scattered where vows voiced. Eulogy lilies, her colors colored worlds. Months mourned, journals joint, entries hers read aloud. Swing sat empty, then filled, Lily's arm, story sustaining. Spring stirred, book sequel, echoes unsilenced, Alex's notes woven. Launch cathartic, fans sharing parallels. Lydia followed year later, 98, sleep serene. Joining the party, her last quip. 97 now, alone but lined love. Lily's care circle, meals delivered, laughs logged. Great-grand's wedding, Kai's, partner poet. I'll walk slow, cane steady. Vows vowed fierce, rings reminiscent. Dance denied, but joy yes, claps cascading. Centennial nears, party planned, kin converging. Memoir third, refusals dawn, truths timeless. In quiet, I whisper to winds. We won. Love's refusal? Symphony unending. The ink dried on the final page of my third memoir, fingers trembling not from age but awe. 100. One candle snuffed quick on cake towering, family chorus, happy birthday, a balm to bones aching but unbroken. Lily, silver-streaked at 65, leaned close. Your words, Mom, they're our map. Her eyes, mirror of Alex's blue, held oceans of gratitude. Centennial bash spilled into the loft, now museum of memories. Alex's canvas's walls, Lily's first brewery label framed, Kai's trans pride flag draped. Great-greats toddled, chasing echoes of laughter from decades past. Toasts toasted. To Caroline, refuser of shadows, lighter of paths. Sleep came sound that night, dreams dancing, rainy porches, Paris springs, wedding whispers. Morning dawned clear, coffee brewing automatic, ritual unbroken. Clinic call, award named mine, ceremony virtual, voices from Elmwood to Globe, testimonies threading. Your story silenced my silence. Tears traced, pride pulsing. Afternoon, swing called, porch vigil, book open to prologue, that hook of thunder, hand in hand. Alex's ghost grinned, I swore, in breeze rustling pages. Lily arrived dusk, pie warm, Evelyn's recipe, apples tart as truths. Read new chapter? She asked, settling close. Words flowed, of refusals rippling, generations gilded. Her nod. You started the wave. Night deepened, stars pricking like promises. Proud, I whispered to dark. Stars winked yes. Legacy's leaf turned last, journal closed, pen set aside. 102, breath shallow but story sharp. Lily bedside, kin clustered, hands linked chain. Love one, I rasped, eyes closing on faces fierce. Funeral followed spring, lake lapping lullaby, ashes with Alex's, vows sight. Eulogy Kai's. Great-grandma's refusal? Our revolution. Centers thrive, art inspires, brewery brews bold. Refusals echo? Eternal anthem, love, loud, lasting.